Okay, Agun Erev Shabbos, a Freilich and Chanukah, everyone. We have a number of very special Shiurim today. We have a special guest from Baltimore, Yaakov Ziman, who's visiting with his father, Reb Chaim Ziman, who helps me out with the Shiurim. So say hello. Okay, we have four very important Shiurim today. The first Shiur is Pesacheinu Megadim, connecting the beginning and the end of the Parsha, Parshas Mikeitz to the Ziman, to connecting the beginning and the end of the Parsha. Pesacheinu Megadim. Actually, what's very interesting is that the words Pesacheinu Megadim are a reference to Ner Chanukah. Come. Pesacheinu Megadim are a reference to Ner Chanukah. The pasuk tells us, Hadudaim nasnu reach is Eruvin, ve'al Pesacheinu Megadim is Ner Chanukah. Okay, so we're going to try to connect the beginning and the end of the Parsha. Now, I have to tell you, this has been the most difficult week to connect the beginning and the end of the Parsha. The Parsha begins, Vayihi Mikeitz Nasayim Yamim Uparoi Cholem. The Parsha begins with the dream of Paroi, and it ends with Yosef telling the brothers, don't worry, I'll just keep Binyamin, and you guys, you go back to your father. And this was the most difficult week, the most difficult time that I've had, connecting the beginning and the end of the Parsha. So, but I tried, and many people sent me suggestions. Baruch Hashem, in the last moment, I think we have three very compelling connections. Vayihi Mikeitz, it was the end. You know, the Bereshis Rabbah, Parsha Peites, by the way, it's an amazing thing. The Medrash on Parshas Mikeitz begins with the 89th chapter, which means the 89th chapter of Medrash is for Parshas Mikeitz. Of course, 89 is Chanukah. So that's a very interesting connection between, if you look in Medrash Rabbah, the Medrash on Mikeitz begins Parsha Peites. It says, Keitz Sam Lachoshech. Mikeitz, Keitz Sam Lachoshech. God makes an end for the darkness. Yosef was wallowing and languishing in jail, and the end of the darkness had come. Yosef was rushed out of the bar. Vayiritzuhu min habar. It was Rosh Hashanah. Yosef was rushed out of the bar. God made an end for the darkness. That's what the Medrash says. Vayihi Mikeitz, Keitz Sam Lachoshech. Well, in the end of the Parsha, I would say the story parallels the Rebbeinu Shalom making an end for the darkness. Just like in the beginning of Mikeitz, Yosef's wallowing in jail, and all of a sudden, Paro has a dream, and they rush Yosef out of jail, and Yosef rises up from languishing in the pit to second in command. So too at the end of the Parsha, the brothers are in hot water. The famine is overtaking them. They have no food for them and their families. Yaakov Avinu is mourning Yosef. Yaakov Avinu is mourning Shimei now. Now he has to send Binyamin. The darkness is thickening. And all of a sudden, when Yosef sees Binyamin, he's going to frame Binyamin and he's going to put an end to the darkness. And that sets the stage for Ani Yosef Ha'od Avichai, and all Klal Yisrael comes down to Goshen. In other words, just like in the beginning of the Parsha, Keitz Sam Lachoshech, so too in the end of the Parsha, Keitz Sam Lachoshech. Now, here is an amazing connection that I was alerted to by the Chida. The Chida in the Nachal Kidumin, on the words Mikeitz Shnasayim Yamim Uparei Choylem, the Chida says Mikeitz Shnasayim Yamim Uparei Choylem is Rashi Tevois Meshichai. Mikeitz Shnasayim Yamim Uparoi Choylem are Rashi Tevois Meshichai, the anointed one. Who's the anointed one? Moshe Rabbeinu. And Moshe, which is 365, is the same gematria as Paroi. Paroi is 355 plus 10. Did you know Moshe is 10 more than Paroi? You know why Moshe is 10 more than Paroi? Because he beats Paroi with the 10 makos. Anyway, the Rashi Tevois of Mikeitz Shnasayim Yamim Uparei Choylem is Meshichai. Comes the end of the Parsha, we have another remez to Moshe. The Nachal Kidumim says in his first piece on Vayigash Elav Yehuda, and that follows the end of Mikeitz, Alu l'shalom el avichem vayigash elav Yehuda. The Gemara tells us in Yuma, the bones of Yehuda. The Gemara tells us in Yuma, the bones of Yehuda were rolling in the Aron for 40 years because Yehuda says that if I don't bring Binyamin back to you, then v'chatasi le'elokim kol hayamim. I will be a sinner to you all my life. So Moshe had a daven for him. Moshe had a daven that he should come back. The words Alu l'shalom el avichem mean, Yehuda, you could go back in peace to God. And Vayigash elav Yehuda, Yehuda came back to the fold through the tefillah of Moshe Rabbeinu. So that means the words Alu l'shalom el avichem are a remez to Moshe and his tefillah. Says the Chidah, the Seifei Tevois of Avichem, the last word of Mikeitz, Vayigash elav, is the letters Moshe im hakoilel. Mem, Shin, and Vav. Hey is the same as Vav im hakoilel. Okay. And then finally, connecting the beginning and the end of the Parsha, both the beginning and the end of Mikeitz are Merames to Chanukah. Mikeitz begins, Vayi Mikeitz Shnasayim Yomim, as we mentioned, Keitz Sam Lachoshech, God put an end to the darkness, which is a reference to the Yom Tov of Chanukah. The Yevanim darkened our eyes, and the salvation was an end to the darkness. In the dream of Paroi, there's a remez to Chanukah. V'hinei sheva shibolim oilais bekana echad. The Nachal Kidumim says there's a Mesorah that there's one other time it says kana echad regarding the menorah. Bekana echad. And the last pasuk in the parsha, ve'atem alu l'shalom el avichem, is also a remez to Chanukah. The Sefer Chak al Yitzchak says the words El Avichem is Gematria Chanukah plus the Shem Ka. And other Svarim bring the words Alu L'Shalom El Avichem. Avichem is Rashi Tevois Oirois Matisyahu Ben Yochanan Kohen. So both the beginning and Parsha are Merames to Chanukah. Okay, that's our first offering for today. Pesacheinu Megadim. Pesacheinu Megadim are the doorways of the Parshios, are laden with great treats. Okay, that's number one.